online lecture for database management. For this week, we will be discussing about SQL Insert Into statement. So again, if you would want a comprehensive or more detailed discussion with regards to this one, you can go to W3 Schools and then just access SQL and look for SQL Insert Into. So for this week, we will try to add new records or insert new records to the table, okay? So when you say add new records, it means that you are trying to save a new set of values inside the table, okay? So if you could still remember last week or in the previous discussions, I provided you with a customer table, diba? You have 91 records in there, and if you would want to add or insert a new record, yung gagamitin natin is si SQL Insert Into. Okay? So, we have here the basics or the things that you need to remember when we would want or when you would want to manipulate your data or your table using SQL Insert Into. So let's remember that the SQL Insert Into is one of the statements that is used to insert new records in a database. Okay? So it is possible to write the insert into statement in two ways. The first one is that you specify the column names, diba ito? These are the column names and the values to be inserted. The second one is that you just, what do you call this one? You will just indicate the name of the table and then you also indicate the values. So if you would try to compare the first and then the second one, yung first one, it's very specific. And then, yung pagkakaiba lang nila is that pag sa specific or yung specific way of inserting new record sa table natin, kinakailangan mag-match yung number of columns na na-declare natin dito with the number of values that you would want to insert. Okay? Yung pangalawa naman is that we did not indicate the number of columns, but then it was able to get or it's automatically doesn't have any parameter that will become an error. Like for example, kahit na ilang values yung ilagay nyo for as long as it coincides with the number of columns present in the table. So for example, in the table, apat yung columns natin, kinakailangan dito, apat din yung ilalagay natin. Okay, na values. Okay, so just to be clear, you have it here. If you are adding values for all the columns of the table, you don't need to specify the column names. Ito yung pangalawa. However, make sure that the order of the values is in the same as order of the columns. Here's the insert into syntax would be as follows. So, another thing to remember is that, for example, kung nauna yung customer ID sa column, kinakailangan yung data na ipapasok natin is really for a customer ID. Okay? Yung pangalawa is customer name. So, dapat yung data na ilalagay natin or yung values na ilalagay natin is really for a customer name. Okay? Now, let's try to do a demonstration on how to do this one. Okay. This one is an example of inserting records with specific names of the column. So, for example, let me make it bigger para kita natin lahat. So this one is insert into customers. We have here the columns customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code, and then country. Now let's try to count kung ilang columns ang tinawag natin or in-specify natin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So it means na since anim yung tinawag natin na columns, dapat yung values na i-insert natin is also 6. Okay? You have it here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And then please notice na when you would want to declare values, kinakailangan na it's separated by a comma. Ayan. It's separated by a comma. So for example, since most of the data na present dito is in string man or in character, that's why they put a quotation on here, okay, or a quote or a single quote. Don't forget to do that one, okay? So don't forget to add a single quote to every values na gusto nyong i-insert. So if you try to run this one, yung mangyayari is something like this. So this particular values will then be added to the customers na table and then let's try to see if talagang mangyayari siya. Okay, you have it here. You've made changes to the database. Rows affected is 1. So, let's try to see if talagang nandyan siya. Okay, try natin. Select all from customers. Okay. Ano nga ulit yung ano natin? Nilagay natin. I think the last one na nilagay natin is a Norway man siguro. Yeah, you have it here. It's Cardinal, Tom B. Erickson, Skagen 21, Stavanger 4006, Norway. So, a while ago, if you notice, okay, yeah, if you notice a while ago, hanggang 91 lang, diba, or in our previous demonstration, hanggang 91 lang yung records ni customers. But, kanina, you have it here, Cardinal, Tom B. Erickson, Skagen, Stavanger 4006, and Norway is a new set of records for this table. And then if you might be wondering, sir, we did not specify man na it's record number 92. So, pansin nyo, automatically, si database din, or si SQL, automatically provides a ID if it's no longer specified. Okay? Because maybe sa pagkakagawa ng table na to, it was declared na the customer ID is auto-increment. Ibig sabihin, pag merong ipapasok na bagong record, automatic, yung number niya or the next number will be provided for the next record. That's why the latest record in our previous demonstration, it was 91, and then we added another one. That's why it becomes 92. Okay? So again, sa specified na SQL insert into, we make it sure na the number of columns match the number of values na ating ilalagay. Okay? Ayan o. This one pala is our, what they call this one, is the output to be generated. So you have it here. Kaya pala dito, it's 91. Tapos after this one, after inserting this record, yung mangyayari is magiging 92 na siya. Okay? So you have it here. Did you notice that we did not insert any number into the customer ID field? The customer ID column is an auto-increment field and will be generated automatically when a new record is inserted into the table. Okay? Okay, so now let's have it here, another example. So it is also possible to only insert data in specific columns. So a while ago, we have already determined na our customers table has more than 3 columns. So what will happen if these records will have in a specific instruction na we will add new record but then we'll only add the customer name, the city, and then the country. So mangyayari is something like this. Diba? So the original database kasi this is an online database, so 91 lang talaga siya. So this one will be a new record, and if it so happened na kulang yung nilagay nila or na-specify nila na values and as well as the columns. Okay? So sabi dito, gusto naming mag-add ng record sa customers pero lagyan lang namin si customer name, si city, tapos si country. So, sa ruling ni database is that ganito. If there will be some, if it's a specific or a specified insert into statement, yung mga walang values is lalagyan nila either ng default value or a blank. Okay? So, for this example, nalagay si Cardinal, nalagay si city na Stavanger, and then the country, but then the contact name, the address, and then the postal code is not specified. That's why it's called null. Okay? Yung nilagay nila is null. If we will try to define null in our in computer science, null is actually null in computer science. If you will try to define it in computer science, null is both a value and a pointer. Null is a built-in constant that has a value of 0. It is the same as the character 0 and is used to terminate strings in C. So in simple explanation, itong for this column and then for this particular record, walang value ang nalagay dito. Same goes with address and same goes with postal code. Okay? So, sir, what if naman if gusto namin, 'di ba? Yan yung usual question na natatanggap ko if I will do a demonstration about this one. Sir, what if we will try yung second example kanina, like we did not specify the columns, okay? So again, yung sinabi sa atin kanina is that if you would want na uh, yung general, yung like hindi siya specified yung columns, you can just delete this part here. And then, we need to make sure, di ba? Sabi nila na si customers daw has 6, di ba? Actually, it's 7, pero si customer ID is auto-increment man. Ibig sabihin, si system na bahala mag-assign ng particular value. So, yung needed lang natin na values are 6, di ba? So, cardinal, you have Tom, you have Skagen, you have Stavanger, 4006, and then Norway. So, yung mangyayari dito is that this one will still be added. Yung pagkakaiba lang is that in the execution part, we did not specify the column name. Okay? So, I hope it works. Could not prepare statement table customer has 7 columns. Ayan. So, we can actually put here, sorry, kasi kanina is it specified pala. So, dapat 7 yung columns niya. Dapat 7 din yung lagay natin. Okay? Ayan. Let's try to see if kagana ba ito. Could not due to failure 19 unique constraints. Lagyan lang natin ng ganyan. Okay? Kasi auto-increment man daw. Data type mismatch na naman siya. Lagyan natin ulit. Okay. Bawal daw. Kasi it's a unique. Okay. So, anong gagawin dito? It's mismatch. Ganyan lang. Parang bawal ata. Okay. Could not execute statement 20, data type mismatch. Ayaw niya. Kasi naka-auto increment siya eh, 'di ba? What if lagyan lang natin ng ganyan? One table, customers has 7 columns but 6 values were supplied. So maybe lagyan natin ng 1. Like ganyan. Bawal din. 93. Lagyan natin ng 93. Lagyan natin ng 93. Ayan. Okay. So, bawal pala si 92 kasi we have already added a while ago si 92. So, the error states a while ago na a customer ID is a unique one. So, dapat wala siyang kaparehas. So, we added 92 a while ago. That's why si 92 is hindi niya tinatanggap. So, make sure na the numbers or the number of columns is the same with the number of values that you provide. So if you have it here now, you have made changes to the database, rows affected 1. So let's try to see if talagang gumana siya. Select natin yung database. Okay? So if we will try to run this one, customer ba customers? Customer ata. It's customers. Select all from customers. Okay, 'di ba? You have it here. Number of records is 93. Hindi na siya 92. So, ayan. Diba? They have the same values, but then they don't have the same ID. Okay? So, for your activity, so, ibahin natin yung activity natin kasi yung iba, kumbaga, I already encountered some problems with the Google Forms kasi maybe, medyo puno na siguro yung drive ko. So, for your activity, and then I will check this one, okay? So we have the same lang din, okay? So you kindly create a insert into statement that will, okay, again na lang. Write ko na lang para ano talaga. Okay. So for this week na activity, yung activity natin, you should comment it out or comment it down below sa comment section para ma-check ko, okay? So, your task is to, lakyan natin yung font para lahat makakakita. Create SQL insert into statement using your personal details. Anong ibig sabihin? So, ibig sabihin, for example, gusto kong insert yung name ko, 'di ba? I will insert my name. So, since it's already 93, so lagyan nyo lang yung 94, okay? Lagyan nyo lang yung 94 para everyone will have 94. So, for this one, you create an SQL insert into statement using your personal details. So, ibig sabihin, use your own name as the customer name. Use also your contact name, like for example, your emergency contact name, your name, the name of your mother, and then you also use your own address, and then the city, and then the postal code, and then the country. Okay? So, saan ito ilalagay? You will submit it or you will comment it down below this video. Okay? So thank you so much for joining me today, and then see you next week. Thank you.